Hello and welcome to part 8. Obviously I left the when I finished part 7, you'll have known that I mentioned that I was contemplating on the 13th because it's the 13th of July. And then as I finished recording that and I went into my kitchen, my clock was 13:13, right? And it was obviously talking about 13 in the chapter that I read as well, which is the Divine Mother, the hidden number. And I posted that picture on the video, okay? So I was guided to watch that video again that I'd recorded. Well, I say again, I hadn't watched it, I just recorded it, right? But I was guided to watch it. And as I watched it, I noticed that when I spoke about July the 13th, I actually said September the 13th. And I was like, strange. September the 13th. So I thought, oh, bank that date. That date's important. The fact that I said that. And then what I realised later, what someone pointed out to me actually, which was normally I would run the numbers. As soon as I do that, I've been on a huge journey with numbers, with signs, synchronicities from the universe, been led to things through numbers, things have been confirmed, received information through numbers. So often I would just run the numbers. I'd be like, well, I knew already it was an important date, September the 13th, for the fact that I just said it when it was July the 13th. But I was just too tired to do it. I just was like, I banked that number, and then someone pointed out to me that obviously the 9, the 1 and the 3 is 4. So if you take the 9, so we've got 13 September, so September is the 9. So if you take the 1 and the 3 and the 4 and the 9, then you've got 13. So actually within the 9th of September is actually 13. Amazing, right? So as we're reading through this, right, we are being activated. Of course we are being activated. These books hold keys and codes that are activating us on deep levels. And this is why we need to read it more than once as well, because we're going to get activated. And then we're going to go back and we're going to get activated to a new, deeper level. Like I think I've said, many people that have commented on these books have said they've read them, many times. So I do hope you're going back. Well, I hope that you can actually purchase the book. To be honest with you, I love to support the authors. I've always been like that. I think it's important if we can afford to do it. It's important that we support authors and bringing through this material because it takes time, it takes energy. It's an energetic exchange. And we're receiving so much from these. So I do like to support the authors as much as possible. And that's why, I've mentioned her channel as well. I'm not being paid to promote this at all. I literally, synchronistically came across this book, and boy, am I glad that I bought it. I was looking on Amazon for a different book. I can't even remember the book that I was going to buy on Amazon, and I just saw this below when it does that other people bought. And I was like, that piqued my interest. The 144, Angelic, piqued my interest, and boy, am I so glad that I did. And I have got many other books now of Zanita's to read. Found out obviously she had a channel because she left a beautiful comment on one of the videos. So I'm actually in the middle of reading quite a few of her books right now. Definitely feeling upgrades. If you are listening to these, let me know in the comments, are you experiencing more signs, more synchronicities, upgrades happening? It's really important right now that we're really kind to our body. I've just had a call with a client, and we're going through a deep healing process right now with this client. Is healing a symptom. I call it a messenger signal. It's just a messenger. Illnesses, things like this are really messenger signals, or I believe they are messenger signals of really, it's the emotional body trauma, things that need to be moved out of the energetic system, things that need to be unblocked from us, and more, we need to receive more light in. And he was just kind of saying that he's found it quite difficult the last few days. He's just needed to be, and I was like, yeah, we've got to integrate, right? We've got to, and he's felt guilty about the amount of rest that he's had, and this is a message that I keep relaying to him and to myself, because we've been trained through the slave system to work like slaves, to completely override our natural our body and what our body needs to be able to restore itself, to be in its optimal health. And right now, as we are going through upgrades, so do let me know in the comments if you're receiving lots of signs and synchronicity, if it's increasing. But whilst we are going through those upgrades, we need to give ourselves permission to have more rest. We've got to tune into that body, and I have to do that same. I have to remind myself that, I've got my own business, and sometimes I can think, well, I need to be doing more, but I always remind myself, no, I need to be in flow. And I know that when I'm in flow, everything just fits together perfectly. So we've got to remember that we've been trained to override the body with the mind. I probably told this story, but if not, I used to work in finance. I nearly had 2 nervous breakdowns. I used to always override my body. When my body was tired, it was exhausted, I'd say, no, I got to get this work done. I'm responsible. I used to tell myself that I had a strong work ethic. What? I used to think it was brilliant that I was doing that. How wrong was I, right? And I don't beat myself up about that. In fact, it actually makes me smile when I look back at it, because I think, wow, that is the power of subconscious programming, right? Where we literally override our own body and what is good for us. And we trained from children to do that. We are trained from children to put everybody else's needs ahead of our own needs and ahead of our own body's needs. We're trained to please other people. That's how we get loved. That's how we get rewarded. We're trained to ask permission to do things for our body. We have to ask permission to go to the toilet. And again, forgive me if I've shared this with you in one of these videos. But sometimes we need to hear a message again, right? But I remember back, as I've been on this awakening journey, as I've been working with my clients in soul therapy, in reconnecting back to our true soul self, in actually switching the light onto those unconscious shadows and starting to work and integrate those shadows, I've had so many memories and things come back to me. And I remembered being 6, and I used to go to karate because I've got a brother who is, interestingly, exactly 13 months older than me to the day. And he used to like watching ninja films. So that meant I used to like watching ninja films. So we used to watch a lot of ninja films together. So I went to karate when I was 6, and I was scared of the sensei. He was a scary man, and I needed the toilet, and I was desperate to go to the toilet one day when we were doing a kata, and I then asked to go to the toilet. I was so scared to ask that I weed myself. How humiliating was that? It was so embarrassing. I was in absolutely floods of tears. I was so embarrassed. This woman took me off, and she was asking me, why didn't you ask? And honestly, I didn't know at the time why I didn't ask to go to the toilet. But obviously from children, we are trained to ask for permission to go to the toilet. So we've been trained in so many ways to give away our authority, our sovereignty, our autonomy of our own body. So we have to relearn that we don't have to ask permission to do what our body needs. In fact, it's our duty to really respect, love, and cherish the body, which also led me to this week actually saying to one of my clients, because we are on this journey of loving, respecting the body more, to actually write a love letter to the body. What a beautiful thing to do. Write yourself a love letter to the body for everything that it does for you, so that when you're having those days that you feel a bit down on your body or stuff, you can look at that and remember. And also within that love letter, you can also add, what are the things that your body loves? For me, it'd be massage, love a massage. I do that regular. It'd be having a bath, love to have a bath. Going for a walk in nature, love it. Meditating, just all these things that the body loves, and just making sure that you do that, and also that you speak to the body, right? The body, it does listen. I say this to all of my clients. I always say to my clients, look, your body is conscious. It's absolutely conscious, and it hears what you say to it, and it feels the vibration of how you feel about your body. If you are criticizing the body, it is harming the body. You're harming yourself, right? Again, why we've been programmed to hate the body. The body's been weaponized against us, and we have to start becoming aware of this and taking back our control. Think about it this way, right? Imagine having a child. I always find it easy. We can have more empathy when we think of children. So imagine having a little child, right? And you're always saying to this little child, like, oh, you're useless, you're lazy, you're fat, you're ugly, you're just not good enough. Now, how is that child going to be? It's going to withdraw. It's not going to thrive. It's not going to be its best self. It's not going to live its highest potential. That is the same with our bodies in order. So even if your body right now is going through some illness, especially if it is, we've got to learn to love and respect the body again, communicate with it and give the body what it needs. So I just thought it came into my consciousness about perhaps writing a love letter to the body. I thought that would be a nice little thing to do there. And I wanted to read you this passage as well. From, even though we are doing the angelic pearls, the rising merits, which I did get the other day, because this really just confirmed, what I'd started to become aware of years ago and what I, teach with my clients as well. We're just talking about as we're going through upgrades, right? Which, if you're watching this now, you're going to be going through upgrades. It is important to drink lots of water to assist in easing the uncomfortableness during this process. Water helps to ground and anchor the light. It also helps feed your cells. Your cells are spinning at a very fast pace and they need proper energy. High vibrational foods such as living fruits and vegetables are key. The denser the foods are you digest, the more fatigue you will have. For your cells to be able to handle this massive transformation, they will cause your form to rest. They do this automatically so that they can work without meeting resistance. Be easy on your body and remember it hears what you say. It is conscious. Speak to it and ask it what it needs. Exactly. So like I say, we've been programmed to override our body with our mind, also, and we have to reprogram ourselves, and it starts by just being aware, asking permission to go to the toilet. Why? It's my body needs to wee, I'm going to the toilet, right? And it's so funny that when that really dropped in for me, and it was when I was doing my second live Reconnect program, which you can get the first week free in the description. When I was doing that, this came in strong for me when we were doing things about, it was actually when I was doing the Becoming Soul Field week 2, and this is when that memory came back to me, about asking permission. And one of the things that I was bringing in about the soul is integrity, right? Integrity is so key to our ascension, our spiritual awakening. And intention really came in as an energetic for me back in 2015 very strongly. It became central to my life, and I started to really focus on the integrity that I had within myself. Was I acting from a place of integrity? Was I in alignment with myself? Or was I pleasing other people? Was I censoring myself because I was in fear of how people were reacting? Look, I didn't always succeed. Sometimes I did censor myself. Sometimes I did people please, but I became aware of it, and I was curious about it. Why am I doing that? I was curious about it. I had compassion for myself, and I started to use more, and I used courage to start slowly honoring the self, slowly acting from more of a place of integrity. And this really changes us and actually accelerates our ascension. At least that is what I have experienced in my life and in my body. But this comes to it brought me back to this integrity when it comes to the body, and this asking for permission about the body, in that things like work, right? At work, if we want a day off, many people, if they want a day off, if they got to a point where their body's just like, I am exhausted, I am tired, I need rest, and then you think, oh, it's too late to ask for a holiday, so you phone in sick, right? How many people have done that, phoned in sick, right? And my friends even talk about it now. One of my friends, she'll say, oh, I phoned in sick. Now, I stopped doing that. Now, to be honest with you, I rarely had a day off sick anyway. However, I stopped doing that. I was like, no, I don't need to ask for permission to have a day off. Work do not owe me. Just because they pay me a salary for a service that I give does not mean they own me. They don't own me. I own me. I am the authority in my life. I am a sovereign being. And if my body tells me I need a day off, I need a day off, and it happened. So whilst I've now quit, I might have said to you, I was doing contracting in finance for about 3 days while I've been building up my business. But I got that message, gotta quit, need to make more space. So I listened to that. But during that period when I was finishing out my contract, I was doing my Reconnect live, and I was supposed to be working on the Wednesday and have my Reconnect live on the Thursday. And I realised on the Tuesday that I really needed to spend that day, Wednesday, just focused on getting my program ready for the next day. And whilst I had most of the day on Thursday, I didn't want to leave it to the last minute. I didn't want to be stressing. I had quite a busy week. And I realised I needed the day off. So what did I do? I didn't phone in sick. I messaged and I was just honest. I said, I have to have tomorrow off. I will be having tomorrow off. I've got other priorities. And I put myself first. And, I did say to her, like, you can either not pay me for that day, or if you want me to make it up another day, I'm happy to do that. So I give her some options, but I just let her know I didn't ask. And it's not that I did it in an unpolite way. I just made it very clear that this is what I was doing, and I was doing it for myself. And, she accepted that absolutely perfectly, because we don't have to ask permission to put ourselves first in our bodies, but we have to really relearn to do this. And this is really going to help us move into sovereignty with our being. So that was quite a long intro, I realise, that, but hopefully it's added to this video. It came through, so it was meant to come through. So I'm sure you received what you needed to receive from that. So we're going to start with the illuminated ones. Within the celestial realms resides a hierarchy of illuminated beings birthed directly from Source to oversee all of creation. When Source split into divine masculine and divine feminine, we, the Seraphim, were created. This was the birthing of the mind, created as twins when the mind formed into two hemispheres. Love that. When the first signals from the mind emitted, it created large sparks of light. These large sparks of light became the angelic commanders overseeing the heavenly armies. We represent the thoughts of Source, while other moving parts of the mind are represented by the hierarchy of light, which resides with us among the mighty throne of thrones. The term known on your planet as Archangel is simply a title, a duty given to them, while Seraphim and the term cherubim is like a creational race of the divine. From the beginning, archangels were given a directive to be an overseer of a host of angels. It is true that angels can accomplish the ascending of the chain to become an archangel, but there are the ones known as the originals. The originals are the ones known as mortals such as Michael, Ariel, Raphael, Uriel and Gabriel, along with many others. These are not one soul spark, but merely represent a vibrational frequency within us, the 144. Within the chain starts with a commander overseeing an angelic army which houses 12 angelic hosts. An angelic host houses 12 legions of angels. An angelic legion houses 12 units. Each unit is overseen by a director and houses 12 segments. Each segment houses 12 companies. This breakdown is a vibrational match to the math known to the mortal mind. An angelic army houses equivalent to 72 million in the mortal math, and from those sparks all of creation stem from. Now imagine how many other beings of creation exist outside of the earthly sphere. Now note when we say you are never alone. You have an entire army of angels with you. All you have to do is ask for assistance from your heart light, believe in it, and it will be so. Yeah, absolutely. And again, in one of the videos, I did link I did start with a sacred prayer, which, is about connecting to our angelic assistants and just inviting them in every single day for, I can't even remember how many years now. I've invited in the angels to assist, invited in my guides, knowing that we must ask them to come in and help guide us. We can ask for their help. Elemental angels are, so then it says, EOS angels. Elemental angels are hybrids, similar to what is known in your history books as demigods. Part of their soul was created from the essence of an angelic, the other part from the essence of an elemental. EOS means dawn, for these are the angels of the dawn. They come down riding the waves of light during the dawn of a golden era. For they are the ambassadors of the dawn of creation. They appear just like the aurora lights in the sky. And I have to say, I've started working with the aurora consciousness. That consciousness started coming in for me last year, and it's very powerful. In Greek mythology, the goddess Eos is the Eos angel who walked as one with the mortals during the Atlan temple. The Romans called the Eos angels Aurora. So it is these elemental angels, I guess, that are coming in to assist the planet right now in ascension. And I actually had a really special prophetic moment with the Aurora during the program that I was creating in April, where I'd been called out to, the sun was just streaming in through the kitchen, and I was just called to the kitchen and then called out, and I just stood and the sun was just on me. And as I was looking at the sun, I just started to see this huge aura just moving out of the sun, and then it just started to just come over the whole of me and spread. And I just got this message: the aurora is going to be seen and felt everywhere. And actually, I did speak about this on my program. It is recorded because I was talking to the people I was working with about it, and I didn't take it literally like everyone was going to actually see it, but I took it as the fact that yes, I had become conscious of the fact that this energy, this source energy, this aurora consciousness, or these Eos angels, I guess these elemental angels, was working with humanity right now and be working with all of humanity, and everyone would start to feel this. But then I think it was 2 weeks later that it was actually seen as well. The aurora lights was seen in places they have never been seen before. So I saw that as a physical confirmation of the download that I'd received. So it was pretty amazing. The day sets into night, and from the night arises the light. This is the circle of life. Everything in creation goes through the rising and setting of a night. Just before the sun fully rises, you have the in-between time where the veils are the thinnest. This is what is happening now at a planetary level. The veils are thinner and the sun is rising. As the sun starts to rise, you witness the sky transform from darkness into an array of colours. This is the Eos angels stroking their paintbrushes. Now, isn't that a beautiful way to envisage it? The Eos angels are here to assist humanity during the dawn of the Mukana template. They assist you in seeing beyond the veils of the darkness and into the higher planes of earth. They appear within all spectrums of red, orange and yellow, just like in a sunrise. They work with humanity to help with the first stages of awakening. That's interesting because probably the last couple of years when I look at the sun and I start to see the aurora, often I see it starts as a white, and then I start to see the middle of the sun blue, and then often I then see a real red energy spreading out. So I love that they work with all spectrums of red, orange and yellow, just like the sunrise. They work with humanity to help your first stages of awakening, those first moments when your consciousness starts to expand. In Greek mythology, the siblings of the goddess Eos were Helios and Selene, while to the Romans, the siblings of Aurora were Sol and Luna. This is because the Eos angels work in the in-between stages of the sun and the moon, the rising of a new day, as well as the rising of a new era. There's actually an island that I was in February, and I went to Bolivia, to Lake. Oh, I am seeing some lights go past. I hope you just noticed them. I've seen a few actually as I've been sat here. I was in Bolivia in Lake Titicaca. I was drawn there because I'd heard it was part of the sacral chakra. Really wanted to go. We stayed at a place called Copacabana. It was absolutely amazing, and went across the lake one day to an island called Sol Luna, actually, which was the island of the sun, which was incredible. The rising of a new day, as well as the rising of a new era. Archangel Lilith. Working with the Eos angels is Archangel Lilith to mirror and reflect the dawn stage. Archangel Lilith was created upon the negative scale of the 144 to be a mirror. Now, I have come across Archangel Lilith, but I've never gone that deep with this angel, so this will be really interesting. This Archangel, at least not consciously anyway. was created upon the negative scale of the 144 to be a mirror. Those who look upon her and see shadows as because that is her role in creation, to reflect the shadows held deep within one's soul, just like all of us among the 144. From us, monads were created, who then created fragments of themselves, fragments to travel deep into the darkness to expand and grow. From Lilith, many fell deep into the darkness as guided by Source to be the shadows, to work within the veils of temptation and lust, portrayed as the serpent in the Garden of Eden, because it is only when one starts to seek for wisdom from the light within thyself does one truly understand the darkness. Our consciousness as the 144 is unity, therefore we do not hold the same vibrational frequency as our monad fragments that exist in the material world. The vibrational elixir of Lilith was created within the shadow aspect of the Divine Mother spark to help emit in totality the shadow fragments of her. Lady Lilith, 1867, so there's just an image there. In every mystery school temple there was an initiation of the shadows, halls created from pure black obsidian that led to black obsidian chambers where one would reside in for 3 days. This is where the 3 days of darkness comes from. For those 3 days you had no food, no water, no interaction with another living being while one sat in complete darkness. Now, well, that is hardcore. During this time, shadows deep within one's soul would emerge. Emotions never once acknowledged would surface, causing the initiate to have to face them. Just how the pupil of an eye adjusts in the darkness to see the light, so does the pupil of the shadow initiation. They start to see their own light and learn that it is simply their own shadow surfacing. I love that. A mere reflection of their very own vibrational field. Just as an individual one goes through this process, so does a civilization. What is happening now is the sun is rising, shining through the windows of the planetary house for the dust to appear. The dust is swirling around in the air around you. The question is, if all of humanity live in the same house, is there only one to blame or a collective? For when you live in a mansion, it is true each plays a part. However, the mansion gets clean faster when more than one starts to clean. Exactly. Really, our only job is to heal ourselves, is to go on that inner work, because as we do that, then we ripple that out and we assist the whole of humanity in the collective. So I really love that metaphor of seeing it. It's up to all of us to take responsibility for the self, and rather than to project blame other people. And again, that's just a relearning of all the programs and actually bring it all back to the self. Yes, things out there can influence us, but only if we allow them to. There's so much going on in the external right now. Many people that, in my family are just really plugged into that. And it heightens anxiety, and it keeps people really immobilized from doing their own inner work, and really blaming other people for their feelings and how they're feeling in their life, whereas actually when we bring it back to ourselves, then like I say, we become the sovereign being in our lives, and Source is going to lead us to a life of joy and fulfillment. Source wants us to live a life of joy and fulfillment, doesn't want us to suffer. That's old programming, that's the illusion, that's the lie. Cherubim angels. The origin of the word cherub in the Hebrew tongue stems from the word caribou, meaning blessings. In the Akkadian tongue, blessings is used as a greeting when one enters a sacred space. In the sacred temples of the celestial realms, the cherubim are guardians of the sacred records and trinkets. Therefore, they are who greet you as you enter. Just as you have the Akasha storing the records of earthly events, we have the celestial records housing all events of creation. The cherubim are carved as winged beings, having a lion's body and a human's face, guarding ancient sacred places upon your plane. Housed within some of these giant statues are part of a soul spark from the cherub. They stand guard over sacred spaces, allowing only those of pure heart to enter and see through the veils. There are many upon your plane who walk past these large statues feeling as they are alive, sometimes hearing a whisper. While we of the higher planes hold no true form, we do appear in the higher planes sometimes as a pacific celestial form. The Seraphim race will appear as a feline being with wings and a serpent body, or as a fiery sphere. The cherubim will appear as an avian form with a man species face, a flaming sphere, or in a sphinx form. It is all simply a choice. When a cherubim appears, it is because they are appointed by Source to provide you with a sacred trinket. This sacred trinket houses divine wisdom and sometimes divine powers to be used for a divine mission. Only those who have a direct angelic connection can access the celestial records. What is meant by this is an illuminate one, directly projected in a mortal form. The levels of access one can access from the mortal world is mortal world is Akashic records, lower and higher records of Earth, the Kashira records, Milky Way records, the Zatunanya records, universe, and the celestial records. Keep in mind these are not names but an angelic sounding coding. The ancestral records can only be accessed by a specific way upon which only the angel incarnated knows. Each angel incarnate has their own access key, allowing them to access certain records. Only those of the Seraphim, Cherubim, and Orphean race can access all records of creation. We will not give an exact number of these projected sparks in form upon your plane, but we will say there are less than 500. These are the true oracles that walk upon your plane. Through an oracle, those of the celestial realms can speak. These are prophets sent by a directive of divine source during specific nodes in time to help teach the teachers and initiates to the masters to be. Orpheum angels. Orpheum angels are sometimes called throne angels because they, along with the Seraphim and Cherubim, guard the mighty throne of all thrones. We all are the triad that oversees all of creation, guarding the divine blueprints as guided by Source. Orpheum stems from an ancient tongue meaning wheels because they appear to mortals as fiery spheres housing many rings of light. And I'm just going to show you that illustration. The celestial records are guarded by the cherubim while the Orpheum oversee them, meaning that they oversee the recording and managing them. The divine blueprints are given to the Orpheum by the Seraphim. The Orpheum then draw them out, record them, and hand out the directive to an angelic commander who makes sure the directive is done as divinely ordained. Every single part of creation has their own record. It's a lot of records. Every action and every non-action are reported to an Orphean who then records them into the records. Think of how when a movie was first filmed, the action of a scene would be recorded upon a wheel. The film, scene by scene, ran across the wheel to be saved and later to be projected for an audience to witness. This is similar to how Orpheum records. Ever since the creation filters through them as the wheels, then record it onto a record. The Orpheum record every vibration. Sounds are recorded like a photograph. The record is like the wheels of an Orpheum used to copy into the celestial records. This is why illustrations of the wheels of the Orpheum have many eyes. The eyes merely represent a recorder. The many eyes portrayed on our wings of the Seraphim is because we are the eyes of Source. What we see, Source sees. When we directly incarnate, Source is witnessing firsthand everything our incarnated self is witnessing. We incarnate to firsthand view and record the actions of the mortals. City of Seraphim. Within the inner planes of your planet is a celestial city named Seraphim. This city is located through the gates of Shambhala. Shambhala is a layered city which connects to the inner planes of Venus. When Lord and Lady Venus came to anchor the Mu template, this is where they would reside. This zone of the inner planes exists outside of your current time and space. All the inner cities located within the central heart sun of Earth are. They appear as crystal cities because they are inside the atoma, Earth's crystal heart. The prisons of light reflect off the Earth's atoma, I don't know if I'm saying that right, to be honest, into these cities, overlighting them with unfiltered light from the universal suns. The light from the 144 universal suns sends source light directly into the atoma of every planetary body that holds life. Within the city of Seraphim is where all the inner planes, sacred temples are housed. The temples used by a soul who is going through an initiation process of ascension or to take on an elevated duty to assist the divine until the Mukana template is fully anchored. These cities of light within the inner planes will remain hidden by frequency. Once the new template is fully anchored, then some of these temples will mirror on the surface, as well as gates will open for them to be accessed. This is an illustration of the Seraphim. The imagery of the Seraphim having 6 wings comes from the city of Seraphim emblem. The centre is a sapphire eye with 13 gold dots ascending upward, representing the 13 tribes that descended from the local sun to anchor the Earth-Venus blueprint. One tribe retreated to the inner planes. So that's the hidden number, right? The 13, while 12 seeded upon the surface plane. Within the inner planes, they were protected by their unity consciousness and closeness to the atoma. By retreating to the inner planes of Earth, they were able to anchor and stabilize the organic blueprint. This was the forming of the inner Earth races. They are your true kindred and will come to the surface once the stage of dawn is complete and there is no night upon the surface. Amazing. The 6 wings represent the 6 root races birthed when the eye opens and will become a unity consciousness during the 7th root race template, returning into the eye as it closes. Each time Source closes the eye, a reality ends and a new one begins when Source opens the eye. Now, isn't that such a beautiful visual to think of it that way? What is happening now is Source is about to blink. I just love that. What will your reality be when the eye reopens? Changed, absolutely changed. We are, the golden age of miracles is up on us. For us that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, right, that are focused on our ascension, on our inner work, on healing those shadows, integrating those shadows. That is what is most important right now, that we do, that we go on this inner journey. Reconnect back to the true soul self, which is unconditional love, back to true source, which is benevolent love, creational wisdom, knowledge, intelligence. Archangels speak. We promised humans that we would walk among you again and teach you, but we also ask that they dance to the beat that makes thy own heart happy. Exactly. We are here. Do not only seek us as what is portrayed in ancient paintings or what you see on your viewfinders, TV, phone, computer, for we to exist within fleshy suits. As those of us from the higher realms come into form, we help to anchor the higher light frequencies of creation. This in return helps to raise the vibration of Earth and all her kingdoms. The physical locations we incarnate upon helps to raise its vibrations. Typically we choose a land area that has had historical drama such as major wars or natural catastrophes. While incarnated, we also provide a direct portal of light to source for souls to go who need healing. Incarnated angels, you know who you are, for since a child you have been able to exist in both worlds. To the elect, 144, the pure souls of divine fire created first, as protectors of the Almighty, the Holy, Holy, Holy. Doesn't it sound good when you say that? Just say that with me. The Holy, Holy, Holy are marked via their higher crystal heart. When directed by the all, hot fire pours out of your crystal heart to surround your light body, protecting you from all that is not pure. A shield of liquid steel, indestructible dragon scales of source fire. Oh, that's powerful. Oh, I just saw another one there. Now, I don't know. I have to say, sometimes I have to be a little bit careful because I do have cats and a lot of hairs can be just also. But there has definitely been orbs of light, pearlescent light in these videos. A shield of liquid steel, indestructible dragon scales of source fire. As I said that right, I love that. For it is the breath of creation, the breath directly from the divine mother of all. As a guardian of the grid, allow this fire to pour out, to dance like a tornado around you, a tornado of pure love, burning with calm passion. I love that. I've never heard it says calm passion instead of calm passion. That's beautiful. Calm passion for all in creation. Your role is a grid master, the grid not just of Earth but of Source. The universe houses a plasma grid. You assist in guarding. Yeah, I said that we are the guardians of this planet. Us that are awakening on this ascension journey, it's up to us to plug into that, that radical love with inside ourselves, to radically love all parts of ourselves. That takes a warrior. That takes a real spiritual warrior with courage to be able to love all those parts that we've been taught to hate about ourselves. And as we bring that radical love into our own bodies, then we bring that radical love. It just pours out of us into creation, and we are the light. We be the light. By being the light, we help other people rise up and meet us and be that light too. The universe, and we are guarding creation then, when instructed by the all, you fractal down on a planet whose grid is in danger. You help to restore balance, for you are the timekeepers. Archangel Michael speaks. Hello. The time has come. Those who made a vow many years ago in the Emerald City are fully aligned and awakened. The sacred portal was sealed off when the grids of your solar sector became unbalanced. The 13th portal acts as a supergate. It connects directly to Source and to every sun within the universe. The galaxies are the main organs inside the universal body. The cells are the planets and the stars. Every human was this and is this in form. Yeah, exactly. That's how I connect to the body. It's its solar system. It's its own solar system whilst also being a cell of the whole cosmic source planetary body. The cells are the planets and the stars. Every human was this and is this form. The time has come where the balance is being restored. The great cosmic alignment of the bifurcation process has started. The fork in the road time has formed, or the split in the road, it's shown as a Y, has formed. Those light warriors of the now, time and space are called to keep your pearl portal open. Allow the pearl drops to flow through you and into the grid of Earth. And it says in big capitals, hold the light. Hold the light. Hold the light. Whoa, I felt that going through my body. Oh, that feels emotional. Be the light. Stand in your light. Stand in your integrity. Speak your truth. Honor yourself. I'm adding that, but I just know. Speak your truth. Honor yourself. You matter. You are important. What you have to say, it matters. By staying in this light warrior pose, you are using your pearl essence chest plate armor to anchor the light of my sword. This is what you are signed up to do. Once this has occurred, the supergate will come back online, allowing the organic diamond pillars of light to flow inward and outward of Earth again. Those of you who house the emerald codes, in the crystalline form, emerald appears as the colour aqua blue. For this was the organic design. Those drawn to this shade is because it is the colour of the mother temple that you were once taught. My bathroom tiles are in that colour. That is my sanctuary. The organic form of the living waters of her womb, you were initiated in this temple. It is why to this day certain cultures go into a birthing chamber to come out reborn. Be ready, serpents, to rise and be reborn, shedding the skin of the old to the blue rays. A message to those who hesitate to call, who think their prayers are too small for me. I say, halt, for I am your brother. You are never a bother, for you stem from my mighty ray, and all that stems from my ray are streaming from a portion of my flame. For your consciousness is but a part of my eternity. I protect all of the pure, especially all that stem from my creations. When you look upon me, you will notice the many eyes that are upon my wings, for I see all. I know all, I hear all. My consciousness is so grand, therefore I am omnipresent. Never halt to call upon any in the higher realms, for we created you. We love you and we will always be there for you. For my legion is already upon your realm. And they have the ability to hear all in that current existence. We hear your thoughts before it is created, before our presence, before it is created. Therefore, our presence will be there before you finish your request. Yes, yes, yes. Think about your own life when you have witnessed that, when you've asked for a sign and that sign has been there like instantly because the angels already knew the thought before you even asked it. I have witnessed that in my life so much, and it is beautiful. So become aware of that, witness it, acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge the magic in our lives. As we acknowledge it, we open up to it even more. Again, this reality is made to make us believe that magic is not real, but that is a lie. That is an illusion. Yes, the magic tricks on TV are illusions, and they are there to make you believe that magic isn't real. But look, anyone that is on this journey with me right now, you are already in the world of magic. You are already communicating to different levels with the universe, with yourself, with your team. So you already know that magic is real. And I always say, the more that we acknowledge it and see it, the more we welcome it into our lives. And it gives other people permission in our reality to start doing the same, as they start to see you stood in your integrity, stood in your self-honouring, and allowing yourself to witness the magic and be a part of it, rather than being stuck to the suffering. Ooh, that felt emotional actually, saying that message from Archangel Michael. So hopefully you felt that. I'm sure you did. Mind beat exercise. Okay. You are returning to be one with the mind, the place where you are no longer individualized, but again whole. From the mind, within the very cosmic heartbeat, surges the life force energy, a cosmic wave of energy out to all of creation. Picture the mind shaped like the shell of a crab's belly. The center is black, a void that extends out in an array of colours, then extensions from them, just like the legs of a crab, except the legs resemble your fingers, no thumbs. These are our thought forms, for our thought form is a creation. Look at your hands, place them in front of you. I'm obviously not going to be able to do that right now. I'll do this later. In fact, the reality is I've actually done this because I've read this book already and I'm reading it again. Place them in front of you. Now take your right hand and slowly pass it under your left hand until your right thumb is positioned to the right of your left thumb. Now intertwine the nubs of your thumbs, keeping your fingers outward. This is where the crab belly extends out, one side being masculine and the other feminine, just like our brain, right? Masculine and feminine, the left being the logical side, the right being the feminine side, the creative, the intuition, which would be massively programmed out of the right side, right, to keep us in the analytical, logical. And as we start to open up more, we start to bring balance to, we bring balance to the brain. We bring it into unity, into union with each other. That's when the real magic happens. Bringing unity back into the body. These are our thought forms. Our thought form is creation. Look at your hands. Place them in front of you. Now take your right hand, slowly pass it under the left hand until the right thumb is in position to the right of your left thumb. Now intertwine the nubs of your thumbs, keeping your fingers outward. This is where the crab belly extends out. One side being masculine and the other feminine. Now count the sections of your fingers. 1, 2, 3. Overself, higher self, self, thee. Now notice your hands are like a bird. Create a shadow of it on the wall. This is the Holy Spirit. Folding slowly the fingers inward, the mind. Then as it expands out, it becomes the bird. This is creation. It is now breath. It is now breath. It is the one cosmic heartbeat. It is the one wave of the life force. Slowly expand and contract your fingers like the bird. Close your eyes, feel the cosmic heartbeat, connect with the mind, and allow the life force energy to move through you. Now open your eyes, look upon your hands, and see how one finger represents your spark. Now follow it towards the center of your hands, connected just like the mind. In the center of your hands, see upwards the thumbs. This represents source. Now see this all as one and know you are never alone. You are never separated. Then Archangel Raphael speaks. And again, I've not worked that much with this Archangel actually. So this is interesting for me too, at least not consciously, right? Greetings, and in this life that I'm consciously aware of. Greetings, men of the night. Night because you reside in the realms of darkness, so many seek for the light outwardly, not seeing thy house, the light within. Each soul controls its own thermostat. Only they have the ability to turn up the flames. It is only through love you gain wisdom. Then you gain the power. One rises like the phoenix, no longer being in the darkness, for thy house their own flame. And I might have mentioned that I got a new cat a few months ago, that my neighbour was looking to rehome a cat, and this came in as Egypt was coming in massively, and as I was going through the Reconnect program with my clients, and we you know, the phoenix came to me, the phoenix rising, and we were talking about the phoenix rising from the ashes, just as the soul does. The soul will always rise up from the flames, right? So I called that cat Phoenix, and you know, they come into our lives. Do animals at certain, you know, it's really marking a timeline shift for me. Was Phoenix coming in? I was aware that I was going through a timeline shift, that I was jumping up onto a higher timeline, you know, through my dedication to the self, to working on the self, to observing the self, to following my heart space, to following the guidance, you know, even when the mind told me not to. Like I say with that job, you know, the mind was like, Corinne, you can't do it, you're not making enough money yet, how will you pay your mortgage, it's silly. But I knew that was just the fear. I knew my guidance was telling me I had to take the leap, that I had set in place a very strong foundation, and I had to follow the light of my soul. And that job, whilst it was only 3 days a week, was really snuffing out my light. It was becoming more and more of a drain, because it was moving completely out of alignment with the new self that I was rebirthing. I was the phoenix rebirth, and we all go through this in our lives over many points, where we are going through that death and rebirth cycle. And we're shedding our skins, or which are our belief systems that become too tight and restrictive for us, and it can be painful when we go through them. It can be scary, but the more that we work with our own true self, the more we connect to the soul, to our source, the more of that source soul light that in our body, then we don't feel so scared anymore. We don't feel so, you know, I'm not saying that no doubts ever come up, but we understand that is the programmed self, and we have compassion for it, and we come back into the light, and we use the light as our stability to continue to move forward and to focus on that light. So they house their own power. It is only through seeking and searching within does one find the keys. Some souls have a hard time adjusting in this realm, unable to focus and be still to see the flame. Just like when you enter a dark room, at first you see only the dark. However, once your pupils adjust, do you not see more? It is again when finding stillness, does one see the flame. Be still, beautiful spark, and see your flame. Again, I'll link my meditation where I guide you into that. Then see we are also there beside you. And I'm just going to show you this diagram, which is a rose. Dante and Beatrice gaze upon the highest heaven. Rose Celeste, it's called. So there's just a little caption here, and then that is it for today's video. We are time keepers. For what is time? It is light, it is life. We are the guardians of the light. We come down and up between matter and antimatter, between form and formless. When we form, it is to help create more light within the shadows, creating balance and assisting with expansion. We enter the body of creation like white blood cells, warrior, white spheres of light. Wow, I feel like today's was so powerful. I really felt that vibration, the energy, the words, the activations, particularly through that part what I was speaking about when Archangel Michael delivered his message. That felt so powerful. So I really hope, and I know at the beginning there was a lot of talk before we went into it, but when that happened, like I felt like that was like 2 minutes and it was like 16 minutes. That is information that is just streaming in from my higher self, and it's information that is going to be there for certain people that are tuning into this video that need to hear those messages right now. So I hope you enjoyed today's. It felt totally magical. I'm definitely feeling the energy increase, the magic increase. So yeah, I'd really be interested to hear how you're experiencing things right now. And thank you for being on this journey with me and listening to these videos and all the comments that you're leaving, because it's really heartening for me to know that people are really enjoying this content and are actually connecting to it as well. It's like what I call a win-win-win situation, where it's so enjoyable for me to read these kind of material and connect to these codes and share this. It brings so much light into my body and it allows me to pour light out. And then when I know that people are receiving that light and it's rippling out into the planet, then it's a win-win-win for all of creation.